So I just got this Oupes brand B2 multifunctional extra battery, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with it. Now, most of us call these expansion batteries just because you hook them up to your solar generator so you get extra power, but Oupes calls this the B2 multifunctional extra battery. And if you're not familiar with the Oupes brand, they make excellent and well-built solar generators at a very cheap price. And right now, between December 11th and December 26th, 2024, right now you can save nearly $250 on this expansion battery, and I will put a link down below so you can check it out if you want to. The normal price for this when it's not on sale is $1,024. But during this Christmas sale, plus when you also use the extra 5% discount code of ETH, you can get this expansion battery for $778, I believe, instead of the regular $1,024. And then not to worry, if you can't afford the $700+ up front, I believe you can make monthly payments on that, but you'll want to double check that. And just for transparency, I am not making a dime if you buy this or not. Again, I just think this is a really good product that's a really good fit for the prepping community. But again, still sticking with transparency, they did provide this to me at no cost for me to test it out and present it to you. But I have absolutely no fears with saying, hey, I think this is a good product for preppers, because they do offer a 3-year warranty, and no company that sells junk is going to offer a 3-year warranty. Plus, all of my friends that are preppers that have an Oupes brand product, they always say about how good of a product it is. And then lastly, my experience with Oupes products has been excellent. So what is it about this B2 expansion battery that makes it worth the $700+? Well, it gives you an extra 2,048 watt hours beyond if you just are using your solar generator by itself. For example, my Mega 1 solar generator by Oupes has 1,000 watt hours on it. But when I attach it to this, now I have over 3,000 watt hours, again, once they're both combined and attached. And really, just to kind of simplify this, if I can run an appliance one full day with my Oupes Mega 1 solar generator, once I attach this to it, now I can run it for 3 days instead of the 1. Now, I know that solar generators are technically called power stations, but most of us call them solar generators because you can use solar panels to recharge them. And Oupes actually calls this the B2 multifunctional extra battery, even though it says the Mega 2 extra battery on the back of it. But again, most of us just call these expansion batteries that you hook up to your solar generator. Now let me actually show you how this does give you so much more extra power when you attach this to your solar generator. So now the very first quick example I'm going to do is that if I am using only the Oupes Mega 1 solar charger to run my refrigerator with, you can see here that it will run my refrigerator for approximately 3 hours before I'd have to recharge this. Now, of course, this is with the refrigerator actually running full blast right now because I've had the refrigerator door open for a long time. So it would actually last longer than 3 hours once it's cooled down and the door was kept closed. But again, as of right now, this is showing 3 hours that it would run my fridge. And now, since I have the B2 expansion battery hooked up to my Mega 1, now let's see how long that this combination will run my refrigerator. As soon as I plug this in, you should see the light come on behind me, and let's see. So before, where it had a run time of 3 hours using just the Mega 1, again, it would run longer than 3 hours with the door closed. But now, since we have the B2 expanded battery hooked up, now it's saying that it would run it for 9 hours. Now, of course, if the door was closed, it would run much, much longer than this. Now, in reality, I would not leave these plugged up to my refrigerator the whole time I was trying to keep my refrigerator cold. What I would do is I would cycle it by hooking them up, letting the refrigerator run for a little bit to cool it down. Then I would unplug it, make sure they're recharged, and then replug it back up to the refrigerator, etc. But you can see what a huge difference that this B2 expandable battery made for running my refrigerator. Where it went from originally only running it for 3 hours, now it was saying 9 hours, now it's saying 8 hours, so it's almost triple the time. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to test out to see how long the Mega 1 would run by itself compared to when it was partnered with the B2 expansion battery is going to be this fan. And just as a reminder for everybody, all of my appliances, my refrigerator included, are very old. So if you have newer appliances, you'll probably even get more run time than what I'm getting. So let's see how long the Mega 1 will run this fan, which will be sorely needed if you ever lose electricity on a hot night due to an electrical storm or something like that. Let's test it out. Okay, it's saying that I would get about 14 hours on this fan. And I know this from having used it before is I will actually get 16 hours on this fan when it's down on low. So now let's test it out with the B2 expansion pack on it. All right, let's get it powered up. Turn the AC button on and plug the fan in. So it takes just a minute for the numbers to even out here, but now it's saying it will run this a little bit over 60 hours. So we went from 14 hours earlier now to just about 60 hours with this expansion pack that we can run this fan. Again, on a really hot night and you don't have electricity, something like this will make life a lot easier. So just think about that. Instead of having X amount of time to be able to run things like your refrigerator to keep your food cold, to keep your diabetes medicine cold, or to run your CPAP, or to run your TV and your emergency radio so that you get emergency broadcasts, instead of having X amount of hours to do all that, just think about how much more time that this gives you. Now let's go over this B2 multifunctional extra battery to see what it does. The first thing is that it weighs just about 40 pounds. And then while it does not have the AC outlets, you do get extra outlets up here. You do get extra USB and USB-C ports here so that you can charge additional cell phones if needed to. Plus you get the cigarette lighter outlet here, and then you also get this other jack here, and I can never remember what this jack here is called. Now the way this works is that, again, this is an expansion battery that you use in conjunction with your solar generator. And the awesome thing about this is that when you have these connected, when you power just one of these on, they do communicate with each other. So when you power on one, both of them will come on at the same time. Now something that I have found when I've been testing this out is that when I am running appliances, and of course I have my appliance typically plugged into the AC outlet here on the Mega 1, but when I am running an appliance using the both of these, that typically they will drain about the same time. So when this drops down to 99%, this will typically drop down to 99%, and then 97 to 97, to 70% to 70%, etc. But with having said that, one of the things I found is that when you get something from Oupes, it's typically going to get delivered to you with a 69% charge, and that happened here. When this B2 expansion battery arrived to my house, it came at 69% charge. Well, I had this at 100% charge, and so when I tested it out, it was actually giving me a lesser runtime on the appliance I was testing it out than when I was using the Mega 1 by itself. And what I learned was that if the B2 has less of a charge than your solar generator, not only will your solar generator run the appliance that you're running off of it, but it's also going to try to recharge this. So it will look like you have less time, again, if you are using this with a less charge than this. But what really happens, from my understanding, is not only does it run the appliance that you're trying to run, but as it tries to recharge this, as that charge goes down there, then it does go back to your appliance that you're running. So that's a long way of saying, save yourself the confusion. If you are going to use your expansion pack with your solar generator, have it fully charged. And then as you use it, they will run down and lose energy at the same, pretty much the same rate. Now, according to the user manual, anytime that you're going to connect your expansion battery to your solar generator, you always want to power it down, then connect them, and then power it back up, and I will put B-roll up on the screen showing that. Now, another thing about the B2 is that you cannot charge this by plugging it directly into your wall outlet. The ways that you recharge this is either A, by hooking it up to a solar panel, or B, by hooking it up to your B1 or your actual solar generator, and then connecting them, and then plugging your solar generator into the wall. And so as your home's electricity recharges this, then it will recharge this also. And kind of what I have found is when I've ran these both to completely zero and recharged them via my wall outlet at home, what I've found is that it typically takes about 3.5 hours to run these, to recharge these from complete zero back to 100%. And I'll say this, right from my experience so far, Oupes has been the fastest recharge time, at least for my experience. But now, since Oupes has provided me this B2 to test out and review, here is some of my suggestions for Oupes. The first thing, your user manual should include just a little bit more information. For example, the user manual did not tell me that I could not plug the B2 directly into my wall outlet to recharge it. I had to find other videos on YouTube to learn that. And then the second thing is, Oupes, I really wish, I mean, please, if you would make some kind of a container or a bag that any of these cables can fit into. It would be really nice that when I'm carrying this around, moving it around my house or whatever, if I had some kind of a little bag that I could place any of these cables into, because what I've done is I've bought these bags off of Amazon that clips onto the handles here, and I can put the cables in those. So that would be just another suggestion. But with having said those critiques, Oupes makes kick butt. From my experience, Oupes makes kick butt products that I think is a really good fit for the prepping community. Again, I am not making a cent if you buy one of these or not. And at the end of every one of my videos, I always push my playlist that shows you how you can make your own prepper medicines from the common weeds and trees that grow around you. So to see a whole playlist on that, then click on the video that should be appearing on the screen just about now to learn what most other preppers don't know. Anyways, folks, this is enough internet for me today. I do need to get back to work, but folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching, and I pray that you have a good night.